12 shocking habits older adults develop that nobody warns you about. Did you know that aging can sneak up on you with challenges you never expected, sometimes in the most ordinary moments? You might think you know what getting older looks like. But the truth is, there are uncomfortable changes no one really warns you about, like forgetting familiar names, sudden waves of exhaustion, or strange shifts in your body that leave you feeling frustrated and out of control. This is the quiet reality many older adults are facing, and if you've ever felt disoriented by it, you're not alone. The good news? For every challenge, there's a practical way forward. And today, we're going to walk through them together. Chapter 1: When Memory Slips, Why Names Suddenly Disappear. Have you ever found yourself in a moment like this? You're at the market and suddenly run into a neighbor you've known for over a decade. You smile, genuinely happy to see them, but then your mind goes completely blank. Their name, their spouse's name, even the street they live on gone. It feels like someone just unplugged your memory, and sadly, this experience is far from rare. This is known as the tip of the tongue phenomenon. You know that you know it, but the words simply won't come. Biologically, this has to do with gradual changes in the hippocampus and frontal lobe, the parts of the brain responsible for short-term memory and information processing. According to Harvard Health, the aging brain tends to prioritize emotionally meaningful memories over surface-level details like names that aren't used frequently. A Mayo Clinic study of over 2,200 older adults over 5 years found that 72% experienced name forgetting and detail slips, but only 9% developed actual dementia. In other words, forgetting names doesn't mean something is seriously wrong. It's often a normal part of how the brain ages. Oprah Winfrey, a global icon of wisdom and inspiration, has openly shared that after turning 60, she too has had awkward moments of forgetting names. But instead of beating herself up, she developed a habit of jotting down names after each interaction. Oprah said, "Memory is a gift, but like all gifts, it needs to be respected and supported." Simple ways to strengthen name recall. Say the name 3 times when you first hear it. Repetition locks it in. Create visual associations, like Sandy in a sunflower dress. Keep a people I've met notebook, jot down names, traits, and how you know them. Use tech tools, Google Keep, voice memos, or even sticky notes on your mirror. Let go of the shame. Your memory is not your worth. Instead, think of each lapse as a gentle reminder to slow down, be present, and deepen your human connections. Because when you sincerely ask someone to remind you of their name, what you're really saying is, "You matter to me." Have you ever felt embarrassed for forgetting someone's name? What strategies have helped you improve your memory? Share your tips, because your little trick might just become someone else's big breakthrough. And while forgetfulness may gently whisper that our minds are changing, sudden fatigue can shout a warning from the body itself. In the next chapter, we'll explore why simple tasks like making lunch or taking a short walk can suddenly feel exhausting, and what you can realistically do to reclaim your energy and vitality. Chapter 2: Unexpected Fatigue. When small tasks start feeling like big challenges. Have you ever felt like you just climbed a mountain after something as simple as cooking a meal? Or found yourself out of breath after folding a few loads of laundry? If so, you're not alone. Feeling completely drained after tasks that used to be easy isn't a sign of laziness, it's your body's subtle way of telling you something has changed. After age 60, your body naturally starts producing less energy, largely due to changes in your mitochondria, the power plants of your cells. At the same time, your muscle mass begins to decline, a process called sarcopenia, making everyday movements more physically demanding. On top of that, low-grade chronic inflammation, often fueled by a high-sugar diet and low physical activity, quietly drains your energy over time. Hormonal shifts also play a role. Lower levels of testosterone, estrogen, and thyroid function can make fatigue feel like a constant background noise in daily life. Linda, a 68-year-old retired chef, came to my clinic saying even wiping down the kitchen counters left her needing to lie down. After some blood work, we found she had low vitamin B12 and mild anemia, two very common but often overlooked causes of fatigue. After just 3 months of targeted treatment, she was back in the classroom teaching kids how to cook without needing a daily nap. Simple energy-saving solutions. Break tasks into smaller chunks, work for 20 to 30 minutes, then rest for 5 to 10. Stay hydrated proactively, aim for 1.5 to 2 liters, 50 to 67 ounces, of water daily, even if you're not thirsty. Eat 4 to 5 smaller meals throughout the day, rich in protein and leafy greens, instead of 2 heavy meals. Sit while prepping meals, and keep frequently used items at waist height to avoid bending down too much. Don't push yourself just to prove you're still strong. Even athletes like Serena Williams and leaders like Jeff Bezos understand, managing energy is more powerful than recklessly burning through it. Aging isn't a sprint, it's a masterclass in how well you listen to your body and respond with care and strategy. Do you feel like you run out of battery faster than before? What small changes have helped you boost your energy? Don't keep it to yourself, your insight could be the light someone else needs right now. And while fatigue might slow you down, the next challenge can feel even more frustrating: unexpected weight gain. Chapter 3: The Weight Gain Mystery. When the scale says one thing, but your body says another. You're still walking every day. You haven't changed your eating habits, in fact, you've even cut back on carbs. But then one morning, you step on the scale, and the number jumps. Your jeans feel tighter. Your waistline seems to have expanded quietly, gradually. So what's really happening to your body after 60? As we age, our bodies begin to lose lean muscle mass, a natural process called sarcopenia. Muscle is the body's main calorie-burning engine, so as it shrinks, your resting metabolic rate, RMR, drops too. According to Cleveland Clinic, adults over 60 can lose up to 8% of their muscle mass per decade, which often results in more fat accumulation, especially around the belly. At the same time, levels of key hormones like estrogen, testosterone, and growth hormone decline. Your body becomes more insulin resistant, and the brain's hunger-fullness signals, ghrelin and leptin, can go out of sync, making weight management more confusing than ever. Joan, 71, is a retired yoga teacher. She kept up her daily walks, yet gained almost 11 pounds in 6 months. When we looked closer, we realized she had stopped strength training because of joint pain. Once she resumed light resistance exercises using bands and increased her protein intake, not only did her weight gain stop, she lost 7 pounds in 4 months, with no extreme dieting involved. Practical, sustainable solutions. Light resistance training 2 to 3 times per week, squats, planks, light dumbbells, or resistance bands. Prioritize protein, eggs, legumes, Greek yogurt, salmon, and lean poultry. Avoid extreme dieting, instead, cut back on refined carbs and added sugars. Boost fiber and anti-inflammatory foods, leafy greens, berries, turmeric, and olive oil. Get enough sleep. Sleeping less than 6 hours disrupts hunger hormones, increasing cravings. Elon Musk once said, "You can't improve what you don't measure." And that applies to your weight too. But don't just focus on the number on the scale. Pay attention to other signs, your waistline, your energy levels, your sleep quality. These are the real indicators of progress. Have you experienced unexplained weight gain in your 60s or beyond? What helped you stay balanced or get back on track? Share your story. It might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. But what's even more unsettling for many is the feeling of being swept up in an endless loop of medical appointments and check UPS. In the next chapter, we'll take a closer look at why doctor visits seem to become a permanent fixture after 60 and how to stay empowered rather than overwhelmed in the healthcare system. Chapter 4: The Doctor's Waiting Room, When Managing Your Health Becomes a Second Job. Have you ever felt like your doctor appointments are piling up faster than your to-do list? Blood pressure check. Lab tests. Bone scans. Eye exams. A different appointment every month, a reminder call every week. And then you start to wonder, am I living my life just to go to the doctor? After age 60, the body enters a phase often referred to as mild multi-system decline. That means many organs may begin to slow down, even if it's not serious enough to be called a disease. Conditions like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, and mild cognitive impairment, MCI, become more common. According to the National Institute on Aging, NIA, regular check UPS can reduce hospitalizations by up to 32%, simply by catching preventable issues early. In other words, if it feels like you're going to the doctor more often, you might actually be doing everything right. I once worked with Gerald, a 76-year-old retired accountant who felt completely overwhelmed by prescriptions, appointments, and test results. "I feel like I've lost control of my own health," he told me. Together, we created a personal health binder with color tabs for medications, test results, and questions to ask at each appointment. Within 3 months, Gerald felt less stressed and more in control of every decision. Smart strategies to stay on top of it all. Use apps like MyChart, or a dedicated health planner notebook. Write down symptoms and questions in advance. Don't rely on memory in the moment. For major appointments, bring a loved one. They can help you listen, ask questions, and take notes. If your doctor seems rushed, don't hesitate to ask for clarification. You have the right to fully understand any decision about your health. Health is a system and you can optimize it. Jeff Bezos once said, "You can't optimize a system unless you measure it." The same goes for your health. Don't just go to the doctor because you're supposed to. Use every visit as a chance to better understand your body and take charge of your care. Do you ever feel overwhelmed by medical appointments? Do you have a system or method that helps you stay organized? Share your tips because your approach might help hundreds of others who feel just as lost. And if keeping up with doctor visits makes you feel like a full-time patient, then struggling to concentrate might leave you questioning your mind. In the next chapter, we'll explore why activities like reading, watching a movie, or even following a conversation can suddenly become hard and what you can do to reclaim the mental clarity you once had. Chapter 5, When the Mind Wanders, Why Reading Just Isn't the Same Anymore. You used to lose yourself in a book for hours, completely immersed, eyes dancing from page to page. But now, just a few pages in, you find yourself rereading the same paragraph, only to realize you don't remember a thing you just read. Is your mind slipping away? Or is this simply a new rhythm your brain is learning to follow? Memory and focus don't disappear after 60, they just start working differently. As we age, our brains naturally produce less dopamine, a key neurotransmitter for sustaining attention. Add to that a reduction in neural plasticity, and the brain starts processing information in shorter, more fragmented bursts. This isn't dementia. It's a normal, expected shift in how your cognitive system organizes and retains information. In addition to brain changes, things like dry eyes, weakened vision, and side effects from medications, like beta blockers, can make something as once joyful as reading feel tiring. Charles, 69, was a retired literature professor. He came to see me because he could no longer get through more than a chapter at a time without his mind drifting off. We examined his sleep habits, reviewed his medications, and together we created a reading ritual. Reading in the morning, when the mind is clearest. Choosing larger fonts and using warm yellow lighting. Breaking reading into 15-minute sessions. Listening to audiobooks when tired. 6 months later, Charles had read more books than he had in the previous 2 years combined. Practical tips to bring back reading joy. Break your reading into short focused sessions. Don't force your brain to work for too long. Use blue light filtered glasses to reduce eye strain. Try puzzles like Sudoku, brain games, or learning a new language to build fresh neural connections. Create a dedicated reading space, a cozy chair, soft lighting, and a quiet atmosphere. Oprah Winfrey once said, "I don't read as much as I used to, but I read more deeply." Maybe it's not about reading for hours on end anymore, but about giving yourself the mental space to connect more fully with the words on the page. Is there a book you once loved that now feels harder to keep up with? Share your experience because rediscovering the joy of reading, even in a new way, is something worth doing together. And if scattered focus feels like an internal disconnection, then loneliness is its external counterpart, one that many older adults experience silently. In the next chapter, we'll explore the invisible gap that opens when friends fade away, routines shift, and those once vital connections begin to feel out of reach. Chapter 6, The Quiet Loneliness, When the Phone Stops Ringing and Lunch Feels Empty. Have you ever spent the whole morning glancing at your phone, only to realize no one's called? The weekly coffee catch UPS that once brought you joy have faded into memories. No one ever told you that getting older could feel this lonely, that even the silence of your living room might start to sound like sadness. According to Harvard Health, chronic loneliness increases the risk of cognitive decline by 20 to 30%, fuels chronic inflammation, and even raises the risk of early death. When we lack meaningful social interaction, our body's production of oxytocin, the hormone linked to connection and stress relief, begins to drop. The result? Sleepless nights, depression, high blood pressure, and a weakened immune system. After Bernice lost her husband, she moved into a senior living community. For the first 3 months, she stayed in her room. She didn't talk to anyone. Gradually, she became forgetful, irritable, and withdrawn. Her daughter encouraged her to join a weekly gardening class and a movie club. And the results were remarkable. Her memory improved, her mood lifted, and her symptoms of depression faded. What you can do to reconnect? Join a local senior center, book club, or craft group. Use technology like Zoom, FaceTime, Facebook, or Zalo to stay in touch with loved ones. Set a weekly connection goal, even just one call to an old friend. Try volunteering, read to children, help with a community event, because giving to others also nurtures your own spirit. Oprah Winfrey once said, "Connection is the only thing that keeps us truly alive." And that becomes more true with age. You don't need a crowd, you just need one person who truly sees you to feel like the world still hears your voice. Have you ever experienced that deep kind of loneliness you didn't know how to talk about? What helped you through it? Share your story, because your words might be the lifeline someone else is silently searching for. And while loneliness can quietly slow the rhythm of your emotional life, declining mobility strikes the body more directly. In the next chapter, we'll explore why once simple movements like tying your shoes or stepping over a curb can suddenly feel difficult, and how to regain the flexibility that was once such a natural part of who you are. Chapter 7: When every step feels heavier, the silent but serious decline in mobility. When was the last time you bent down to tie your shoes without needing to hold onto a chair or table? Remember when walking around the block felt light and easy? Now, even a short stroll feels like a challenge. That heaviness isn't just about your muscles, it's your body sending you a quiet but important warning. After age 60, mobility decline often starts with sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle, especially in the thighs and glutes. As muscle mass drops, strength and balance go with it. Add in joint degeneration, slower nerve muscle coordination, and even changes in your inner ear's vestibular system, which helps control balance, and movements that once felt automatic can now feel uncertain, even risky. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 adults over 65 falls at least once a year, and many of those falls are tied to weakness in the lower body. Fred fell while bending over to pick up a spoon. He broke his hip and needed surgery and physical therapy. Afterward, he became fearful of walking. But with a structured rehab plan that included chair yoga, gentle strength training, and balance exercises, Fred regained not just his mobility but his confidence and independence too. Simple, actionable steps to regain stability. Do daily dynamic stretches, gentle ankle circles, leg swings, heel raises. Strengthen your core and hips, seated leg lifts, light crunches, resistance band exercises. Wear supportive footwear, firm soles with good arch and ankle support. Walk with intention, set a destination, listen to music or a podcast to make it enjoyable. If you've fallen before, or fear falling, consult a physical therapist for a personalized fall prevention plan. Elon Musk once said, "You can't build anything lasting without a strong foundation." Your body is no different. You don't need to run a marathon, but if you want to live independently, your legs must be your solid base. Don't let fear stop you from moving. Standing still is what puts you at greater risk. Are you finding that walking doesn't feel as natural as it used to? What have you done to stay steady, flexible, and strong? Your story could be the reason someone else dares to take their first step again. And when your body begins to resist with every heavy step, the nights can bring a different kind of struggle. Sleep, once your place of peace, may begin to feel fragile, fragmented, and frustrating. In the next chapter, we'll explore the real reasons behind insomnia in older adults, and how to finally reclaim the rest your body so deeply deserves. Chapter 8: When Sleep Becomes a Luxury, Sleepless Nights and Early Mornings That Come Too Soon. Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 2 a.m. not because of a nightmare, not because of a noise, just suddenly awake and unable to fall back asleep? For many older adults, this is the nightly routine, not the exception. And the truth is, the older we get, the more often it happens. After age 60, your circadian rhythm, your body's natural sleep-wake cycle, starts to change. Production of melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep, drops significantly. Add to that frequent nighttime bathroom trips, nocturia, chronic pain, stress, or unresolved grief after a major loss, and it's no wonder that falling and staying asleep becomes a challenge. According to the National Sleep Foundation, nearly 50% of older adults struggle with sleep at least 3 nights per week. Unfortunately, many turn to sleep medications, which often mask the symptoms without addressing the root cause. After her husband passed away, Maylin found herself waking up around 3 a.m., unable to fall back asleep. Sleeping pills made her groggy and drained during the day. We shifted her to a non-drug solution, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, a method recommended by the Mayo Clinic. We also created a gentle nighttime routine: a warm bath, chamomile tea, deep breathing exercises. After just 6 weeks, her sleep efficiency improved from 62% to 85% with no medications needed. Real-world sleep solutions. Stick to the same sleep and wake time every day, including weekends. Turn off electronic devices at least 1 hour before bed. Use your bed only for sleep and intimacy. Avoid reading or watching TV in bed. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m., and limit alcohol, it disrupts REM sleep. Add magnesium-rich foods to your diet: bananas, almonds, leafy greens. Consider CBTI for long-term insomnia. It's drug-free, effective, and non-addictive. Jeff Bezos once shared that getting a full 8 hours of sleep each night was his secret to making better decisions. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's the ultimate tool to protect your mind, your emotions, and your health. And you deserve that kind of rest, uninterrupted, deep, and restorative, no matter your age. Are you currently struggling with sleep? What's one small thing, anything that's helped you rest better? Your story could be a guiding light for someone else lying awake through the same long night. And while the nights may leave you struggling with unwanted alertness, the daytime can bring a different kind of distance, especially when your hearing or vision starts to fade. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the quiet but life-changing shifts in your senses and how modern medicine and simple tools can help you hear better, see better, and live more fully each and every day. Chapter 9: When the Senses Start to Fade, the Quiet Loss of Hearing and Vision. You still wear the right prescription glasses, but during group conversations, you can't quite keep up. People laugh, you smile politely, but deep down, you have no idea what was said. No one's intentionally leaving you out. Yet somehow, you still feel invisible. After age 60, changes in our senses are a natural part of aging. Presbycusis age-related hearing loss happens as the tiny hair cells in the cochlea gradually break down. This makes it harder to hear clearly, especially in noisy environments. At the same time, presbyopia, the loss of flexibility in the eye's lens, affects your ability to see things up close, like reading a book or checking your phone. According to the National Institute on Deafness and Other Communication Disorders, NID, 1 in 3 adults aged 65 to 74 experiences hearing loss. That number jumps to 1 in 2 for those over 75. When your senses start to dull, it's easy to withdraw, misunderstand others, or feel isolated without anyone even realizing it. Samuel used to shrug off his family's complaints that he was always asking people to repeat themselves. But once he tried modern hearing aids and switched to progressive lenses, he returned to his card club where he used to be the group's jokester. Being able to hear and see clearly helped him regain his confidence and his laughter. Practical tips to stay connected. Get your hearing and vision checked annually even if you think everything's fine. Notice if you're constantly turning up the TV, squinting to read, or asking what more often. Modern hearing aids are discreet, Bluetooth compatible, and far more advanced than older models. Blue light glasses can reduce eye strain from screens. Use soft, warm lighting in your home to ease visual fatigue. Jeff Bezos once said he always invests in tools that help him focus and connect better. For older adults, those tools are your eyes and ears. When cared for properly, they are not just sensory organs, they are your lifeline to the world around you. Are you struggling to hear clearly or read comfortably? Have you ever felt left out because of these challenges? Share your experience. You never know who might need to hear that they are not alone. And when sound and sight begin to blur, your body may also start reacting more intensely to the weather. In the next chapter, we'll explore why temperatures you once tolerated with ease now leave you shivering or exhausted, and what you can do to stay safe and comfortable in every season. Chapter 10, When Your Body Becomes Sensitive to Temperature, From Bone-Chilling Cold to Summer Dizziness. You used to love the warmth of summer, the morning walks, the sunlight on your skin, the quiet joy of sipping coffee on your porch. But now? Just a few minutes in the sun, and you're dizzy, lightheaded, and scrambling to find shade. And winter? Even with layers of clothing, the chill cuts through you, and the thought of stepping outside becomes unbearable. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at regulating internal temperature. The hypothalamus, your brain's internal thermostat, starts to slow down. At the same time, subcutaneous fat decreases, meaning you lose the natural insulation that once kept you warm. Blood vessels respond more slowly to changes in temperature, making it harder to warm up or cool down. Medications like beta blockers, diuretics, or conditions like diabetes and hypothyroidism can also affect how your body perceives heat and cold. Daniel, 72, used to love jogging early in the morning. But one summer, around 7 a.m., he suddenly became lightheaded while running in the park. After adjusting his routine, exercising earlier, wearing breathable fabrics, and staying hydrated, he was able to safely return to his beloved morning jogs. Practical tips for temperature sensitivity. In colder weather, dress in layers so you can add or remove as needed. Use thermal base layers, wool socks, and knit hats. Try microwavable rice socks or warm compresses for extra comfort. In hot weather, avoid outdoor activities during peak heat hours. Wear lightweight, breathable cotton clothing. Stay well hydrated. Avoid caffeine and alcohol, which can dehydrate you. Use a humidifier and a smart thermostat to maintain a comfortable environment indoors. Elon Musk once said, "Technology should serve people, not make us dependent on it." And that's especially true for how we manage our environment. For older adults, staying in control of indoor temperature isn't just about comfort. It protects your heart, lungs, and reduces the risk of falls due to dizziness. Have you noticed your body reacting more strongly to heat or cold these days? What tricks have you learned to stay warm in winter or cool in summer? Share your tips, because your story might just be the comfort someone else is looking for. And while physical changes may require you to adjust your habits, emotional changes often show up quietly, from unexpected irritability to sudden waves of emotion. In the next chapter, we'll explore why your moods may shift after 60, and how to care for your emotional well-being as gently and wisely as you care for your physical health. Let me know if you'd like a printable version of this chapter for your community or newsletter. Chapter 11, When Emotions Run Wild. The silent storms of aging minds. You've always been patient, calm, even-tempered. But one day, your grandchild accidentally spills a glass of milk and you explode. Right afterward, you feel guilty. But deep down, you're not sure why you reacted so strongly. Is getting older making you more short-tempered? The truth is, emotional shifts aren't just mood swings. They are the result of real biological and neurological changes. As we age, levels of hormones like estrogen and testosterone drop. Meanwhile, the stress hormone cortisol becomes harder to regulate. At the same time, parts of the brain involved in emotional control, like the amygdala, the emotional center, and the prefrontal cortex, the rational filter, start to weaken, making it harder to process and regulate how we react. Then there are the psychological factors. Feeling like your body is no longer under your control. Experiencing social isolation. And carrying a quiet, lingering worry about the future. These can all combine into an emotional spiral, one that sneaks up on many older adults without warning. Richard, a retired engineer known for his calm demeanor, began snapping at his wife and grandchildren after retiring. He felt especially irritable by the end of the day. We tried a new routine. A gratitude journal. The 4-7-8 breathing technique. And 20-minute morning walks. 3 months later, he said, "I no longer feel like a ticking time bomb. I feel like someone learning how to be calm again." Practical tips to stay emotionally balanced. Practice mindfulness or try Tai Chi to help the brain take a break and reset. Journal your emotions. Each time you feel upset, jot down the situation, your emotions, and how you reacted. Try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This activates the calming parasympathetic nervous system. If emotional changes persist, Don't hesitate to talk to a geriatric psychiatrist. Hidden depression or anxiety is common in later life and can mask itself as anger or impatience. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond. At any age, awareness shapes our reactions. And staying calm isn't about suppressing anger, it's about understanding where it comes from. Have you noticed your mood shifting over the years? What helps you stay grounded when life gets frustrating? Share your insights, because your experience might be the lifeline someone else needs when they are lost in their own emotional storm. And as your mind learns to rebalance, one of the hardest challenges in aging is learning to accept help. In the next chapter, we'll confront something that many once independent people struggle with: changing levels of independence, and how to stay empowered even when it means leaning on others. Chapter 12, When Asking for Help Feels Like a Burden, the Fear of Losing Independence. You once managed a household, juggled work, cared for everyone. Now, just the thought of going grocery shopping or climbing the stairs feels exhausting. And when someone gently asks, "Can I help you with that, Mom?" you smile and politely decline. But inside, there's a storm. Because for you, accepting help feels a lot like losing yourself. This fear of losing independence isn't just physical, it strikes at the core of identity. According to studies from Harvard Health and the Mayo Clinic, many older adults link independence directly to self-worth. To need help even with something as small as carrying groceries or picking up medication can feel like being demoted, like becoming weak, or worse, invisible. But here's what the data also shows. Seniors who proactively build a support network actually stay independent longer, have a lower risk of depression, and live longer, fuller lives. Irene was fiercely independent, living alone and refusing help from her children. But after a fall in the bathroom, she made a new choice. Her family created a support circle, her daughter handled shopping, her grandson called daily to remind her about medication, and her neighbor helped take out the trash. She still lived alone but no longer felt alone. And for the first time in years, she felt more in control, not less. Practical solutions to stay independent smartly. Hire part-time help for energy-draining tasks like laundry or cleaning. Order groceries and medications online or use delivery services. Build a support team with clearly defined roles. Maybe your daughter handles finances, while your neighbor assists with transport. Use technology, smart medication boxes, fall detectors, appointment reminders, and more. Success is about knowing when to delegate. Choosing to ask for help isn't failure, it's wise leadership over your own life. You're not giving up control. You're taking control in a smarter, more sustainable way. Have you ever struggled to say, "I need help"? What held you back? And if you've already crossed that bridge, what surprise benefit did you discover? Share your experience. Your words might be the gentle encouragement someone else needs to stop feeling ashamed and start feeling supported. Because when you learn to receive help without losing your dignity, you don't become less independent, you become more powerful in a whole new way. But there's still one final piece to this journey: how we view aging itself. In the next and final chapter, we'll gather the most important lessons and explore how to live well, stay grounded, and find meaning at every stage of life. So the next time a name escapes you, don't panic. Don't shrink. Don't feel ashamed. That moment is not a failure, it's an invitation. An invitation to slow down, to tune in, and to deepen the connections that truly matter. Your brain isn't broken. It's evolving. And just like your muscles need stretches, your memory needs gentle repetition, mindfulness, and tools that support, not shame you. Here's a simple action plan you can try today. White heavy check mark. Practice name repetition. Say it aloud 3 times. White heavy check mark. Create a mental image to anchor the name, like Anna with the apple earrings. White heavy check mark. Keep a small notebook of people you meet. Review it weekly. White heavy check mark. Use voice memos or reminders to stay one step ahead of your memory gaps. Because every time you ask someone for their name again, you're not revealing weakness. You're saying, "You matter enough to me that I want to remember." And that, in itself, is a powerful kind of wisdom. In the next chapter, we'll shift from the mind to the body and talk about something that catches many people off guard: the strange, draining exhaustion that creeps into even the simplest of tasks. If you've ever needed a nap after making lunch, you're not alone, and there's more behind it than just getting older. Let's explore that next.